So I should have shown you guys this since on the first episode, but here's the trailer for Ethereal Enigma by Pixel Fate themselves. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ethereal Enigma. You're watching Javelin Studios and I'm Javelin. So in the last episode Erilynn came to school and came and attend class with us apparently because Uncle Hajime helped her with her paperwork and it's done quicker than usual. And after that we visit ChOsE in his new job at the new arcade. And apparently he's still doing the dishes, just like in the old ramen shop, apparently. But he likes it there, so what can we say? So in this episode, I think we're gonna work in our family bakery, I guess. So without further ado, let's start and let's continue. I wake up I wake up feeling alert and refreshed. I got to sleep a little more than usual, and it has made all the difference. After getting ready and finishing breakfast, Mina and I head to the bakery. It's a beautiful day, so the walk to work is fast and smooth. I hope my shift ends on time. I haven't forgotten all that. I haven't forgotten that I'm meeting Kira at the shrine afterwards. Once we arrive, Mina and I draw on our aprons. Sunlight filters in through the bakery's windows, highlighting the display cases filled with sweet treats. The fresh scent of bread and sugar mingles in the air, giving the place a warm and homey feeling. Aunt Emiko finishes up a transaction with a customer before ushering us over.
I'm so glad you're both here.
She pulls Mina to the cash register.
Sweetie, can you please take over the register?
Mina nods and helps the next person in line. Aunt Emiko hands me a tray.
Here is the latest batch of bread. Can you put them out on display for me, honey?
Of course, Aunt Emiko.
Thank you, dear. If you need me, I'll be in the back with your uncle working on a catering order.
As she disappears into the kitchen, I set to work. The store is bustling with hungry customers all morning. The bread flies off the shelves faster than I can restock them. Eventually, the rush dies down. As the last customer leaves, Mina lets out a deep breath and sits at one of the tables.
Phew, it's finally slowing down.
Yeah, that last rush was crazy. She slumps against the table, looking exhausted.
I just want one moment to myself.
The bell dings above the door. I look over and see a young man enters the shop. He looks slightly older than us. Maybe he's a high school senior. Mina's eyes widen. Her back straightens upright. I stifle a laugh. I thought you said you wanted a moment to rest and do nothing. Her cheeks flush.
Shush!
The boy stuffs his hands into his pockets and as he checks out the display case, Mina lets out a soft, almost dreamy sigh. Well, since she's in the mood, I don't know, I'll choose the first one. I gently nudge her with my elbow. She jerks, snapping out of her trance.
What?
You're just standing there. Go on, take his order.
That's what I was gonna do.
Uh-huh. She hurries off to the cash register. The boy glances at her and her cheeks redden.
Hi there. Can I help you?
He flashes her an easy smile, which makes Mina flush even brighter.
I've never been to this place before. Can you tell me about your hot cross bun options?
Oh, of course.
She clears her throat.
As you can see, you have some hot buns.
Okay. This is going to be weird after this. The boy blinks.
What?
She sputters.
Wait, I mean, your buns are fresh. Not your buns, my buns. Wait, no, mine, like mine from the store.
Concern settles over his face.
On second thought, maybe something else. Do you have any bread rolls?
This is going to go bad. Mina nods.
Yes, roleplay is very important here at the bakery.
What?
Role play?
Yes.
Her eyes widen.
Just rolls? I mean bread rolls.
A breathless, strained laugh puffs out of him. He looks around for something else to order.
Maybe I'll just go with a slice of pie.
Oh no. Please.
Of course. Do you want a cream pie?
Oh. God damn it, Mina. Mina quickly catches herself, and her face turns bright red.
I mean, a cream pie. Like, do you want a slice of a pie that happens to contain cream filling? Because it's called a cream pie.
Oh, Mina. He blinks, then nods.
That sounds just fine.
She looks relieved.
No problem. Just 1 second, please.
Mina prepares his order and then disappears into the back. That's strange. The pastries are ready to go. So I'm not sure why she's back there. She returns a moment later to ring him up. After he pays, she hands him the bag.
Thanks.
She tries to take it from her, but Mina doesn't let go. She seems lost in a trance, staring into his eyes. He gives the bag a little tug. She snaps out of it.
Oh, sorry. Enjoy your dessert.
He gives her another odd look, then sits at one of the tables. When he's out of earshot, Mina lets out a low groan. She deflates against the counter. Well, I'm not sure what to choose between 2 and 4. I'll choose... Let me... Well, let me do... some... cheating. First, the fourth one? For someone who thinks puns are lame anyway, your pun game sure is strong.
I didn't do it on purpose.
Let's just make it even more impressive. Suddenly she's... smirking? Wait, I'm confused. Did that just go really badly? Why do you look so smug? Mina grins and puts her hands on her hips.
Because, dear cousin, I am smoother than you think.
I arch an eyebrow. Did we not just witness the same thing? She lifts up her chin and pins me with a confident stare.
Nope. Because when I was in the back, I wrote my number on the pie and frosting.
Well, let's check on, well, the second option. My mouse lifts up into a lopsided grin. So, you like buns, huh? Mina chokes.
That's not what I meant.
It's fine, Mina. I, too, am a fan of hot and fresh buns. In fact, I don't want no girl unless she got buns, hun. Hey, wait. Oh, I get it. I think... Is that Anaconda? Is that from Anaconda? I think so. Wrinkling her nose, she playfully shoves me, making me laugh. And cream pies too!
Ugh, why are you such a perv?
I grin smartly. You started it! Suddenly she's smirking? Well, this is the same part.
Dear cousin. Nope, because when I was in the back, I wrote my number on the pie and frosting.
She looks over to see that he's already eaten half of the pie. Crumbs sprinkle onto the plate as he takes another big bite. Most of her number has already disappeared. Mina's face pinches in horror.
Ow!
She reaches out as if she can stop it, but it's too late. The deed has been done.
My number!
Her body slumps over with shame.
World, why?
I laugh and pat her on the back. It's alright, Mina. Better luck next time. She groans. When the boy is done eating, he waves at us.
Thanks for the pie. It was delicious.
Mina waves back, wearing a strange smile. The ding of the door announces his exit. Once he's out of sight, she hides her face in her hands, crestfallen and defeated. I pat her on the back. There. On the plus side, work is almost over. She perks up.
That's true, and my friend and I have plans tonight.
See? It's not all bad.
Yeah, you're right. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into another cute guy.
Just don't offer him any more cream pies. Mina playfully shoves me, but the smile has returned to her face. Aunt Emiko pops into the store.
Hey guys, can one of you help us out back here with the dishes?
Of course! I turn to Mina and flash her a grin. Mina would love to do the dishes. Mina sputters.
What?
Aunt
Emiko smiles.
Oh great! Thank you so much, sweetie.
Score! No dishes for me! Mina groans but heads into the kitchen. Aunt Emiko turns to me.
That means you're the lucky one who gets to help Hajime and me with our catering order.
Damn! I knew it was too easy. Okay, I'll be there in a minute, Aunt Emiko. She nods, disappearing into the back. I pull out my phone and text Kira, letting her know that I have to work late. My phone dings with a reply text. Kira agrees to push back our meeting time. Once I'm in the kitchen, I roll up my sleeves and get to work. There's a lot to do, but having my aunt and uncle to talk to makes it go by faster. The rest of the work day goes by smoothly. When we're finally done, Mina and I hurry home. I'm running late by the time we arrive at the house. The first thing to do is clean the shower. The worst thing to smell like then... There are worse things to smell like than freshly baked bread. But I don't need to make people hungry whenever I walk past. After getting dressed, I'm ready to meet Kira at the shrine. As I pass by Erilynn's room, I wonder if I should let her know I'm leaving. Her door is currently closed, but the information we hope to find directly affects her. Should I disturb her? I forgot what. Well, regardless what you choose, I don't think she'll answer. First, Lex. I don't think she would answer either way. I can just imagine the anger if she found out we'd gone without consulting her. I'll ask her to be safe. Erilynn? Press my ears against the door to listen. There's no answer. She must be napping. I'll leave her be and just update her afterwards. It's probably better she doesn't join us anyway. So, I don't think she would. Let's knock. Remembering how rudely She woke me up yesterday. I decided to just knock. Gathering my face, I rapped twice on the door. There's no response. Is she asleep? I knocked once more. Still no response. It's probably better that she doesn't join us anyway. Well, she doesn't carry the weight. Grabbing my things, well, you know what? If her door, let's check the third one just to be sure. If her door is closed, it means she doesn't want to be disturbed. I'm not going to risk upsetting her by bothering her when she doesn't want to be bothered. It's probably better she doesn't join us anyway. Ugh. Saying the same thing a couple of times makes me don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Grabbing my things, I head out of the house and make my way to the shrine. The walkover feels longer than usual. My breath comes in gasps as I pick up the pace. Finally, I see the whoopsie. You know, I just thought that I would like to go back and choose one of the two options on top because the third one, well, I don't think it will affect the storyline that much. I know visual novels sometimes have, like, not sometimes, like, it has butterfly effects, but I don't think this would affect much. The last option, the last three options, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters regardless. Well, I'll just roll over with it. Finally, I see the familiar gates. Kira stands in front of them and greets me as I approach.
Hello.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I hope you haven't been waiting too long. She shakes her head. This is the first time I've seen out of her school uniform. I must be staring a bit too long because she breaks the silence.
Is something wrong?
It's either 1 or 3. I'll choose compliment her? I snap out of my stare, feeling my cheeks burn as I look away. Kira is already beautiful to begin with, but this outfit makes her look so elegant and feminine. The school uniforms really don't do her justice. Sorry, I didn't mean to stare. It's just that you look really great today. My eyes widen as I realize how that sounds. Not that you don't look great every day. You do. I mean, it's not like I've been staring. Is it just me, or is it getting warm in here? I feel the heat rising in my face. To my surprise, Kira bows her head in a graceful nod.
Thank you.
Should we head in? Kira nods. We go through the gates and enter the shrine grounds. There are a good number of people wandering about. Families crowded the main hall, wishing for blessings of health and good fortune. Many couples gaze lovingly at each other as they wish for happiness, and even more single people look wistfully around the shrine, holding amulets for love. I wonder where we should start. Do you remember where you saw that thing in the sky? Kira looks up, shooting her eyes from the sun.
It was right above where Erilynn landed on you. About there.
She points to a spot in the air. I glance up at the sky. It's clear today without a cloud in sight. I don't see anything abnormal.
Neither do I. It's not like it was the other night.
Our best bet is to find that old woman then. Well, a weird expression. Sorry about that. Our best bet is to find the old woman then. I gave Kira a description of what I remember. Scanning the crowd, I look for the familiar face of that mysterious old lady. The crowd of people is too thick for me to spot her. Kira takes a cursory glance around her too. We'll never find her this way. Maybe we should ask around to see if anyone's seen her. She nods.
If we split up, we'll cover more ground.
Yeah. We agree to meet back here, and Kira disappears into the crowd. I look around again. Wondering who should I approach. This is kind of stereotypical, don't you think? Well, as the other, like as in Crystalline or maybe any of Pixel Fake's work, choose the fourth to skip to skip this whole thing and move on with the story. But there will be quite good things if you... Not good things, I think it's maybe for this case you're not really hanging out with anyone, so just a bit of extra scenes and dialogues, or maybe some reference or Easter eggs. I'm not sure, so let's go accordingly. Let's choose the first one. Ask the really happy looking guy. I see a guy about my age with a big smile on his face. He's clutching an amulet and mouthing thank you to the sky. That looks like the face of someone whose wish was granted. I approach him. Excuse me. He turns to me.
What they say about the shrine is real. If you make an offering, your prayer may just be answered.
My heart does a little flip. That sounds familiar. Where did you hear that?
Oh, from someone here. And they were right. I prayed for love, and I just got a text from the cute girl I work with. It can't be a coincidence.
He heard that from someone at the shrine? That's great, but back to who told you. Was it an old woman with short grey hair?
No, I don't think so. On second thoughts, I might have read it off a plaque. But that's not important. I have a date to plan.
He rushes off before I can ask more. Well, that went nowhere. Let's go with the stereotypical option. It takes one to know one. Besides, if I were an old lady, who would my friends be? Probably other old ladies. I can't believe I just said that. Well, truth be told, it's quite legit. When I got old, the only friends I have would be old people. Well, around my generation. Well, according to our generation, I guess. I approach a woman who waits patiently outside of the offering hall. Excuse me. She jumps at my voice.
Oh, young man, are you lost?
Her eyes are full of concern. No, I'm actually looking for someone and wondered if you'd seen her. She's an old woman about your height with grey hair.
Is that your grandmother? Have you been separated from your family?
I try to think of more details. No, she's someone who's very enthusiastic about something called Ethereal Energy.
What? Esther's family? Hold on.
She calls out to another elderly woman standing around the amulet booth.
Esther! This young man says you're his grandmother.
No, actually,
What, dear?
the woman cups her hands around her mouth and shouts again.
This young man says you're his grandmother. What?
While they're distracted, I quietly slip away. That didn't go the way I expected. Moving on. The third one, my best chance of finding this old woman is to ask someone who also spends a lot of time at the shrine. There are a few groundskeepers sweeping the steps the night that I met her. There are a few more working here today. Recognizing their uniform, I approach the nearest groundskeeper. I can't tell if he's the same one from that night or not. Excuse me, do you happen to know that if there's an old woman who frequents the shrine? The man looks at me, rubbing his chin.
You're going to have to be more specific than that. The elderly are always visiting the shrine.
She has short, grey hair. I try to remember what she looks like, but there isn't anything specifically identifying about her. She likes to talk about something called Ethereal Energy and encourages people to make wishes at the shrine. The groundskeeper frowns.
Ethereal Energy. Listen, young man. I haven't got time for pranks. If you don't actually need anything, then please excuse me.
He thinks I'm making things up. Not that I can blame him. Sorry for bothering you. Thank you anyway. I leave him be. It's clear that nobody knows what I'm talking about. Disheartened, I returned to the meetup point. It hadn't struck me just how fruitless this endeavor was until I started asking around. Realistically, with no name or anything to go off, with anything to go off of, I don't know if that's actually proper grammar. I'm not sure. Maybe it is. Just that I'm speaking broken English right now. What were the chances that we'd find this woman anyway? I don't have to wait long before Kira returns. A silver of hope stirs in my chest. Any leads? She shakes her head, squashing that tiny ray of hope.
You?
I shake my head too, and let out a sigh as I sit on the stone bench. Asking the locals was a long shot anyway. Kira sits beside me and wordlessly hands me a bottle of water. Oh, thanks! Where did you get this?
Over there.
She points to the other side of the hall where a small refreshment stand offers drinks. Then she holds up a second bottle for herself. I'll choose the first one. How much was it? I can pay you back. She shakes her head.
Don't worry about it.
If it's just mineral water, I think it's like, well, for where I'm from, it's 1 ringgit Malaysia. She sounds firm in her decision. I don't think she'll accept any money. Alright, but I'll get it next time. She smiles faintly and nods. I take a sip. I guess now is as good a time as any to take a break. She nods, drinking a sip of water. As I take another drink, I glance at Kira out of the corner of my eye. Her attentiveness just now surprises me. I didn't think she notices the little things. I still don't have a very good read on her. She likes to keep it to herself and remains disconnected at school. So her interest in Erilynn's situation is unusual. My thoughts return to the rumors. Is she really an Igarashi? Would it be rude of me to ask? As if sensing my thoughts, Kira turns towards me, meeting my eyes. I may as well ask. I've been wondering something.
About the old woman?
No, about you actually. She remains emotionless, turning back to her water.
What about me?
Are you related to the famous Igarashi conglomerate?
Yes.
Well, I did some research and I found out the pronunciation, and luckily I didn't butcher it this like last time. The change is very subtle, but I notice it. There's a dullness in her eyes and a sharpness in her tone. Huh. I wouldn't have expected a family such as yours to live here in Matsukaze. I thought you all live in the city.
They do.
I blink. So you live here by yourself? She nods, keeping her expression carefully blank. I don't know which one should I... I don't think I would choose the second one person. I think I'll choose the first one. That seems like it'd be lonely, especially as someone new in town.
It's something you get used to.
Used to? So you've lived alone before?
I attended boarding school in junior high and lived in the dorms.
I see. At least the dorms had friends who could keep you company. She hesitates.
Right.
I glance at her. The way she said that doesn't sound very convincing. But now you're living entirely on your own.
Like I said, I've gotten used to it.
That doesn't make it any less lonely. Kira fidgets with her water bottle. If it ever gets too lonely, you're welcome to come by. She blinks. My face flushes. I mean, my family's bakery. Mina and I work there, so if you ever want to hang out, we're there all the time. She thinks for a second and hides her face before answering.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
She glances my way again.
Do you live with your parents?
I nod. But they travel for work most of the year and are rarely home. Kira looks in front of her.
Rarely home.
Yeah, but they always check in with me, so I hear from them often. And I still have my aunt, uncle, and my cousin Mina in the house too, so I don't feel lonely. She blinks.
So you're always surrounded by family?
Yep. Sometimes it can get a little annoying when I want my own space, but that's a small sacrifice to make. I can't imagine how I would have gotten up for school back in the day if Mina wasn't around to wake me. She goes quiet.
That sounds very nice.
Her voice has a strange hollow tone to it. She fiddles with a water bottle in her hands. What about your family? What are they like? Kira remains silent, and I wonder if I've offended her. As she is about to answer, a little boy who looks no more than 5 years old races towards us. Apparently someone's car alarm went off. I don't know why. Well, I have to go on. His cheeks are rosy pink. As he skids to the top, he sticks a palm out in front of us.
Give me money.
I'll choose the first one. Apparently. The boy wears a bright smile, watching us expectantly. I can't help but feel my heart warm. He seems like a cute, overly excited kid who momentarily forgot his manners. It couldn't hurt to help him out. Okay. I pat my pockets looking for my wallet. Kira holds out the coin.
Here.
Yeah, regardless of what you choose, Kira would give him the coin. The little boy's face lights up. I notice Kira's expression softens as he snatches the coin out of her hand.
Thank you, lady. Now I can make a wish.
I think based on experience, we're kind of paranoid because later another person like Erilynn would fall off from the sky. I'll choose the second one. Just make sure you don't wish for a rich beautiful princess to fall out of the sky. Yep. A soft chuckle escapes Kira. Huh? Wait, did I actually choose a correct option? Because the last time I chose, I either choose the first or the third one just not to offend her. Well, apparently that works too. Well, I'm trying to be funny, I guess. But I'm scared that Kira would think it's offensive or something. Well, apparently it works, so okay, moving on. Which she quickly hides behind her hand. She turns away, covering her face. I guess she does have a sense of humor after all. When she looks my way again, she pretends like nothing happened. For some reason, that makes me smile. The little boy wrinkles his nose.
Ew, no way! Girls have cooties!
Well, that's what everyone thinks when we're little. He races off just as quickly as he arrived. I watch him pause by the offering box. He drops in a coin before clasping his hands together. So, you have cooties?
Apparently.
A small smile teases her lips before she resumes her stoic expression. She watches the child squeeze his eyes shut as he makes a wish. I'm surprised you gave him the coin.
It was a small gesture that made him really happy.
I can't help my smile. Kira does have a softer side to her, even if it's not readily apparent.
Koji!
A breathless woman runs after the boy. When she sees him by the offering box, she pauses, catching her breath. Spotting us, she hurries over.
I'm so very sorry for Koji. Please excuse him for disturbing you.
He was no trouble at all.
You're too kind, but I know he was rude. And I apologize again for that. He's still young and too excitable.
She calls out to her son.
Koji, come here. Let me give you a coin first, and then you can make a wish.
It's okay, Mama. The lady already gave me one.
The mother turns back to Kira with wide eyes. Then she bows.
Thank you so much for helping him. Please, let me repay you.
She tries to slip in a coin into Kira's hands, but Kira shakes her head, refusing to accept it.
It was my pleasure to help.
Please, this is the least I can do.
The woman urges Kira to accept the coin, but she remains firm.
When I was his age, a kind stranger gave me a coin to make my first wish too. I'm grateful that I could pay it forward, and I'm sure your son will too one day.
The mother nods, her face softening into a smile as she puts the coin away.
You have a good heart. Thank you again. Please, let me know if there's any other way I could repay you.
She looks back at her son, smiling. Affection makes her eyes twinkle.
Koji loves coming to the shrine. I don't quite understand it myself, but I'll keep bringing him here if it makes him happy.
Does that mean you visit often? She nods.
More often than most.
I share a glance with Kira. If this lady visits the shrine often, maybe she'll know other people who hang around here too. Do you know of an old woman who also likes to visit this shrine? She has short grey hair and likes to encourage people to make wishes. She pauses, thinking.
Oh, maybe you're thinking of Miss Tanaka.
Missers? Okay. Miss or Missers? Whatever. Kira and I share a glance. Mrs. Tanaka?
Yes, I've seen her at the shrine pretty often. She reminds Koji to make a wish whenever she sees him. She always says it's the perfect opportunity for it.
My pulse quickens. Could this be the woman we've been searching for? Do you know if she was at the shrine last Thursday?
She may have been. I think she's normally here on Mondays and Thursdays, but I'm not too certain of her schedule.
She was here last Thursday. It must be her. That could be her. Thank you so much. She smiles.
I'm happy to help.
Mama, I'm done.
Koji waves at his mother.
Koji, don't move.
The woman thanks us again before hurrying after her son. I faintly hear her scolding him as she scoops him into her arms. Hope makes my body feel light. Excitement bubbles within me as I turn to Kira. Mrs. Tanaka sounds like our best lead. She nods.
It sounds like she won't be back until Monday, though.
Yeah. Would you want to come back here with me on Monday?
Sure.
Great! We can head here up to school. Kira nods again.
Now that we have a lead, I'm going to head out. It's getting late and there are a few things I need to do.
Squinting, I glance at the setting sun. Orange and yellow blazes in the sky. I hadn't realized it got so late. Thanks again for coming with me today.
I'm glad we were able to make some progress.
Me too. We make our way out of the shrine together. When we reach a gate, we say our goodbyes and go our separate ways. My mind is racing with thoughts of Mrs. Tanaka as I walk all the way home. Well, the car alarm went off again. And I didn't even notice when it stopped, apparently. Moving on, when I arrive home, I see Erilynn waiting for me in the living room. As soon as she spots me, she jumps to her feet and rushes to my side.
Finally, you're home!
I'm taken aback by her sudden appearance. First one. Are you okay?
No, I'm not!
Why? What's wrong?
I've been suffering for hours!
Suffering? This sounds serious. What happened?
What happened is that I have been starving!
I blink. What?
There's no food.
What do you mean there's no food?
I mean, I checked the kitchen and there was no food.
That can't be possible. Aunt Emiko keeps the kitchen stocked. Did they bring everything to the bakery? Let's go take a look. I head into the kitchen. Erilynn follows at my heels. The first thing I notice is the bread on the counter. Opening the fridge, I spot the usual staples of meat and vegetables. There's plenty of food here. Erilynn points to the kitchen table.
No, it's empty.
I point to everything in the kitchen. Then what's all of this?
They're ingredients to make food, not food.
Then put those ingredients to use. She looks as if I suggested she eat her arm. She looks as if I've suggested she eat her arm. There's bread, ham and cheese. You could have easily made yourself a sandwich. Erilynn stares blankly.
Make a sandwich?
Yes. She continues to stare at me. Considering her reaction to the sandwich we ate the other morning, I have a strong feeling I know the answer to the question I'm about to ask. Have you ever made a sandwich before?
Of course not.
Well, I think her servers made it. It's easy. All you do is grab the bread, make sure that you add any condiments to it, grab your filling, layer them on top.
Hold on.
What?
I'm hearing a whole lot of words coming from you, but don't understand how any of that will cure me of my famine.
I sigh, biting back my frustration. If you would listen, then you would know. She sighs and puts her hand on her hip. Finally. Like I was saying, all you need to do is put the condiments and filling between two slices of bread. That's it. Erilynn blinks slowly, her expression remaining flat. Well, I think you get different scenes if you like choose differently. It's clear let's choose the first one because ideally I would choose the second one. It's clear that she's not understanding. I suppose if someone's never had to cook before, then what seems obvious and simple might not be. Why don't I make one for you? She breaks into a grin, clapping her hands together.
Excellent idea.
Settling herself in one of the dining chairs, she patiently waits for me. I remove 2 slices of bread, then I grab some ham, lettuce, cheese, and mayonnaise from the fridge. Oh, you get more options here. I don't want to troll her, apparently. First off, the fourth one. Sandwich is making an art. Just like a certain place I know, which names comes from the place where you board your train. I'm not gonna say much. If Erilynn wants a sandwich, then she'll get a sandwich that is fit for not just a princess, but a queen. I gingerly place the first slice of bread on a plate, lining up my line of sight with the table. It needs to be perfectly centered. Carefully, I layer on the ingredients, measuring them to be exact. My movements are exaggerated as I add on each item with a gentle flourish. Erilynn watches me with a slight interest. This sandwich is more than just food. It's feeling too. Sweats beat my brow as I painstakingly lower the last slice of bread and put it in front of Erilynn. Behold the ham sandwich! Without so much as a glance, Erilynn hungrily grabs the sandwich and takes a huge bite. I look on in shock. My masterpiece! She didn't even look at it! Erilynn blinks in surprise.
This isn't too bad.
Isn't too bad? How dare she! It's a masterpiece! She shrugs.
It's edible.
Her words are like a knife to my gut. Erilynn continues to chow down on the sandwich. I guess she really is hungry. I sit down beside her as she eats. Normally she tries to take a smaller, more ladylike bites, but she seems to have abandoned that for larger mouthfuls. Watching her relax, she almost looks like a different person. Her eyes have lost their harshness and sparkle with enjoyment. There's even a fleck of mayo on her cheek. I smile. Suddenly she looks up at me.
What is it?
Oh, there's a little something on your cheek.
Hmm?
In response, she leans forward and tilts her face towards me. I freeze. Her face is inches away from my own. My pulse quickens. What are you doing?
Aren't you going to wipe it off?
Oh. Disappointment drops in my stomach. I don't know what I was expecting. With a napkin in my hand, I wipe it off for her. Her face does pink at my touch.
Is it gone?
Yeah. Once we're finished eating, Erilynn stretches in a wide yawn.
Oh my. Well, I'm going to go and rest. I've had such a long day.
A long day of what?
I'm nearly starving to death. Trying to just survive takes so much energy.
Erilynn hides another yawn.
I will retire to my room.
Okay, good night then.
Good night.
I begin to clear the plates as she exits the kitchen. When she reaches the doorway, she pauses, briefly looking back. Curious, I look over to her.
Thank you.
Without waiting for a reply, she turns back and hurries out of the room. I smile as I continue to clean up. After the kitchen is clean, I go upstairs to my room. Mina is still out with her friends, and Aunt Emiko and Uncle Hajime are closing up the bakery. Taking advantage of the quiet, I get started on my homework. I work until I lose focus, then I browse the internet for a bit. When my eyes struggle to stay open, I get ready for bed. Before long, I am fast asleep. So, that's another part that I will momentarily... So I'll continue this in the next episode, but before I end it, so let's go back to this scene where we'll tell Erilynn to learn how to make a sandwich. I don't care if she really doesn't understand what I just said or if she's pretending. She's going to have to make the sandwich herself. No? You don't want to? I shrug. I guess you aren't that hungry after all. Her eyes widen.
I haven't eaten all day.
Well, I just told you how to make a sandwich. You should try making one. I cross my arms, remaining firm in my choice. She looks away and flicks her hair in response.
Yes, well, it sounds easy enough. If the simple common folk can do it, then I certainly can as well.
Great. She looks awkwardly at the ingredients. Maybe she really does need more help than that. You know what? All this talk of sandwiches is making me hungry too. I think I'll make one for myself.
Just as long as it doesn't interfere with my royal sandwich.
She watches me closely as I grab the first slice of bread and put it in my plate. Then she mirrors my movements. Erilynn continues to sneak glances my way. I pretend as if I don't notice but slow down so she can follow how I built my sandwich. As she starts to get the hang of things, I see a smile grow on her face. She watches me spread mayo on one slice of bread and looks curiously at the condiment. Dipping some on the spoon, she tastes it, and her face lights up. After adding the last slice of bread, she beamed proudly at her creation.
See, it was simple, just as I expected. And look how magnificent it is!
She glances over at my sandwich.
Yours looks acceptable, but doesn't even compare to the sheer perfection that is mine.
Looks is just one part of it. The taste is more important. Erilynn's smile becomes smug.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. I know that mine will taste fantastic.
Oh yeah?
I made sure of it by adding a secret ingredient.
What ingredient?
Mayonnaise!
I blink. That's not a secret. I added mayo too.
Yes, but only on one slice of bread. I added 2 layers of mayo on both slices of bread. If having just a little mayo makes it delicious, then having extra mayo will make it extra delicious.
I don't think that's how it works. It depends, well. If you like it, I think it'll be fine. But too much of a good thing, well, maybe a bad thing. She flips her hair, her smug smile still in place.
I wouldn't expect a mere peasant like you to understand.
Full of confidence, she holds her sandwich and takes a big bite. Immediately she freezes. Her eyes grow wide and her smile drops. With great difficulty, she swallows the mouthful.
It's delicious.
She forces down another bite. Lex gave her hours. I'm not so cruel as to make her suffer through eating that. On second thought, I'm not actually very hungry after all. You can have mine.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
I slide my plate over to her. If you don't eat it, then it'll just go to waste. She glances at my sandwich and the one in her hands.
Well, it is rude to refuse a gift, and one shouldn't waste food, so of course I will dutifully accept.
Putting her sandwich back on its plate, she takes a bite out of mine and sighs happily. Is it good?
Yes!
She blushes at her outburst before quickly covering up.
I mean, it's obviously not as good as mine was, but I'll make do.
You're a bad liar. I can't help but smile. Once we're finished eating, Erilynn stretches in a wide yawn.
Oh my, well, I'm going to go and rest. I've had such a long day.
I think this part is all the same.
I'm nearly starving to death. Trying to just survive takes so much
Every day seems to be a long day for you. She glares at me, putting her hands on her hips.
It's not by choice, I assure you.
I smile in response. If you're ever stuck in a similar situation, at least now you know how to make a sandwich. Her face melts into a proud smile.
Yes, all in a day's work.
She turns to leave. Your plate. Pausing, she briefly glances at it and then flicks her wrist in dismissal.
Oh, yes, I'm done. You can take it away. Good night.
She gracefully exits the room. My gaze goes flat. Next time I'll have to teach her how to do the dishes. I clear the plates and clean up the kitchen before going upstairs. So I think this part is the same. Well, I'm not sure which is the better option. In the first one where you make the sandwich for her, she thanked you. While in the second, the other one, well, I don't know which is better. Well, in the future video, I would tell you which option that I actually chose. Well, in my personal playthrough, I chose the what's that called? The second option where you teach her how to make the sandwich. But if that doesn't go well, I'll tell you if you should choose the first one, like oblige her as to be like her personal servant or whatever, or butler, whatever. So that will be all for today. So thank you guys for watching Javelin Studios. I'm Javelin, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Ethereal Enigma. This is Javelin, signing out. Have a great night.